designer fragrances or non-niche house fragrances. Designer fragrances refer to perfumes and colognes that are created by well-known fashion houses and design brands. These fragrances are typically produced and marketed by luxury fashion companies like Chanel, Dior, Gucci, and Prada, among others. Designer fragrances are often associated with high-quality ingredients, unique scents, and elegant packaging. And basically, I'm saying that's a lie, and that's a lie, and elegant what? Boxes? Oh, that's a lie too. See, in today's fragrant market, we are dealing with the concentration annihilation. It's like every single company that releases a fragrance is so focused on just releasing the closest concentration to elixir. And when they do come out with a new fragrance, it smells like a fragrance that's already out. Designer brands have no more creativity. They are discontinuing fragrances and redropping that same fragrance, but calling it something different. All of the designer fragrances are living by the same blueprint. First, come out with a toilette. Then, 2 years later, drop an eau de parfum. Then, 2 years later, drop a parfum. Then, 2 years later, drop an elixir. It's just a cash grab that they are doing. They understand that you like the first fragrance, so they come out with another fragrance to just up the concentration because they know you're going to buy that. Think about every single fragrance when they come out with a new concentration as a sequel. And we know what's going on. They just want to make sure they come out with one fragrance every year. The fragrance game has turned into Call of Duty annual releases. Hey, customer, you like Call of Duty Black Ops? Well, how about we drop Call of Duty Black Ops 2? Hey, sir, I know you got Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2, but how would you like Call of Duty Black Ops 3? Hey, sir, I know you like Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 2, and 3. I know I had you go to the store and spend $60 to get all three of them games, but how about Black Ops 4? We are getting the same fragrance every single year. You can just bet on it. You remember back in the day when fragrances competed, trying to be different? Each fragrance had 100 notes. Everybody didn't copy each other. It's kind of like the fragrance game was the rap game. Ain't no biting off my fragrance. There wasn't even a lot of clone fragrances back then. See, right now we have everybody copying everybody. We have Middle Eastern companies that are literally made for just copying designer fragrances and making them cheaper. Something that I would not do. Wearing cheap knockoff versions of the real thing is the equivalent in my community, like wearing fake Jordans, fake jewelry, and fake clothes. But to each his own. But let's get back to now, in today's time. Okay, so I was talking about how they are just releasing concentrations after concentrations. But let's also talk about how the news community treats fragrances. It is very hard for us to learn about fragrance news. Now, that can be contributed to maybe they don't want to release too much information about the fragrance because they don't want anybody copying the notes or the name of the fragrance or maybe the bottle design. But that can't be true because everybody is just releasing eau de parfums, and elixir. So they can't be trying to withhold information because of that. All I know is when movies come out, they have trailers. When video games come out, they have trailers. When colognes come out, they have leaks, which means that is an inside person leaking information about said cologne. There has been numerous colognes that dropped this year that came out the blue with us not knowing, us not preparing, we're not being able to pre-order it. It just dropped on everybody without no notice. So enough complaining. If I was going to change the fragrance game, I would make dedicated trailers about fragrances that's releasing. I also would make it an account to make sure that the fragrance get tested in the community, maybe sent to reviewers before the fragrance release to get compliments, to get real life reviews of said fragrance before the fragrance release. If I had got a bottle of a fragrance before a release, I can potentially contact the company and let them know that said fragrance smells like another designer fragrance, and I don't think it'll be marketable and well received inside the fragrance community, especially when rising costs and fragrances when it comes to inflation are making designer fragrances the same price as niche fragrances. I think it just shows your customers that you appreciate them when you drop a fragrance that's actually different than something that already came out. If I was to guess why designer companies, when it comes to dropping their fragrance, treat their community so poorly, it might be because fragrances are using only one sense, which is the nose, which means you can't see the fragrance. So if you take a picture on Instagram, you don't know what fragrance that person is wearing, but you know what clothes he got on. You know what shoes he got on. There isn't a such thing as fashion versions of fragrance runways. When a new line of clothes is coming out, a new season of clothes, there will be fashion week, and we are able to see the clothes and models put on the clothes and walk down a runway, and we can give our take and our reviews on said clothes. But when it comes to fragrances, we don't have that. I would love for them to be a convention, like a fragrance convention that everybody can go to and we can test samples of the new fragrances releases. Like, we are all waiting for Blue de Chanel to release the elixir version. Based off what everybody is doing right now, we can just say that they are going to release a elixir version. But what if it was a trailer for Blue de Chanel elixir? That trailer would get millions of views, and imagine if it was a pre-order link inside of the trailer, and you can click that pre-order link and pre-order your Chanel bottle. I think the fragrance community will love that. I cannot imagine one person saying they don't want a trailer for a new Chanel fragrance. We all will love that, especially when we can pre-order it and get it to our door as soon as it releases. So, in hindsight, to wrap this video up, fragrance companies should make sense that's more unique. Maybe give us more news about each fragrance that's about to release. Stop coming out with concentration after concentration and just drop a new fragrance. And maybe they should start listening to their customers before they start releasing said fragrance. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you go pick up Christopher Lee Fragrances, the Jock. You can pre-order that for $79.99. But right now, we have a code called Jock10. If you enter the code Jock10, you can get 10% off. The fragrance releases in 2 weeks on September 22nd. It's a really great fragrance. It smells really fresh. It reminds me of Coral Fantasy by Valentino mixed with Dior Sauvage. I love y'all. Y'all stay fly. Y'all stay looking good. I'm Big Boss, and I'm out.